I've never believed in ghosts. Even when I was a kid and my grandmother would tell me about spirits that followed people home, I'd laugh. I was the one in the group who walked into the dark basement first, the one who called out, "Is anyone there?" during ghost tours, the one who always rolled my eyes at those YouTube videos where furniture moved on its own. That changed 3 months ago, and I don't mean I started believing in ghosts. I mean I can't unsee the thing that's followed me ever since. I'm writing this because if anything happens to me, someone needs to know what happened in that house. It started with a listing. A too good to be true listing, honestly. A fully furnished 3-bedroom house in a quiet neighborhood. Rent half the market price. Short-term lease available immediately. No pets, no smoking. I was desperate. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship, and the lease on our apartment was in her name. I needed a place, and I needed it now. The photos showed a beautiful place. Hardwood floors, tall windows, an old-fashioned fireplace, and even a small library room. It looked like something out of a cozy autumn movie. I called the number on the ad that same night. The landlord, an older man with a tired voice, sounded relieved that I was interested. "It's been vacant a while," he said. "Most people only stay a month or two. It's an old house. It creaks, makes noises. People don't like that." I told him I'd take it. I didn't care about creaks or noises. I signed the lease online, wired the deposit, and 2 days later, I was standing in front of 56 Alder Street with my duffel bag and a key that felt strangely cold in my hand. The first few days were fine, peaceful even. The house had a strange charm to it. The walls were painted a deep green, and there was a faint, pleasant scent of cedar everywhere. The library was my favorite room, with floor-to-ceiling shelves filled with books left behind by previous tenants. The noises the landlord mentioned were real, though. At night, I'd hear faint tapping behind the walls, like something scurrying through the wood. Old pipes, I told myself. Settling foundation. Classic old house stuff. But on the 5th night, something happened that I couldn't explain away. I was half asleep when I heard a sound. A low, dragging scrape coming from the hallway. It wasn't the usual tapping or groaning. This was deliberate. Slow. Like someone dragging their fingers along the wall. I sat up and listened. Silence. I told myself it was nothing and lay back down. Then I heard it again, closer this time. "Scrape! Scrape!" Scrape. I grabbed the baseball bat I kept by the bed and stepped into the hallway. The lights flicked on with a dim yellow glow. No one there. The floorboards were cold under my feet and the house felt still, like it was holding its breath. I checked the doors and windows, all locked. No signs of anyone. I went back to bed, but just as I started drifting off, I heard a faint voice. It was soft, like a whisper through a wall. But I swear I heard it clearly. It said my name. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe I'd dreamed it. Maybe my brain was playing tricks on me. But the next night it happened again. This time I was in the kitchen scrolling through my phone when I heard it. A breathy, drawn-out version of my name. Aaron. I froze. It was coming from the living room wall. I pressed my ear against the plaster. Nothing. Then, as I pulled away, I heard a faint tapping, like nails scratching the other side. I grabbed a flashlight and checked the crawl space under the house, thinking maybe an animal had gotten in. Empty. No rats. No raccoons and nothing. I tried to ignore it. But every night the same thing happened. Sometimes it was a whisper. Sometimes it was a knock. Once I woke up at 3:17 a.m. to find every cabinet in the kitchen open. I stopped sleeping through the night. I stopped inviting people over. My coworkers said I looked tired. I laughed it off. But inside I was terrified. About 2 weeks in, I called the landlord. "Be honest with me," I said. "Has anyone ever died in this house?" There was a long pause. Then he sighed. "People talk," he said. "There was an accident a long time ago. A family, but that was decades back. Nothing since." I pressed him for more, but he refused to elaborate. That night I found something I wish I hadn't. I was dusting the bookshelf in the library when one of the books shifted oddly. It wasn't a book at all. It was a wooden panel hinged at one side. Behind it was a shallow compartment. Inside was a small leather-bound notebook. The pages were yellowed, the handwriting shaky. It belonged to someone named Clara. The entries started mundane. Gardening notes. Grocery lists, but they grew darker. The walls are talking again. They know my name now. I told Henry we need to leave. He says it's just the house settling. But it's not the house. The final entry was barely legible. It's in the walls. It wants out. I slammed the notebook shut and shoved it back into the compartment. My hands were shaking. I didn't sleep that night. Things escalated quickly after that. The whispers became more frequent, not just my name, but full sentences I couldn't quite understand. Sometimes they were behind me when I was alone. Sometimes they echoed from the vents. One night I woke up to find something written on my bedroom wall. Get out. The letters were jagged, carved deep into the paint. My first thought was that someone had broken in, but the doors were still locked from the inside, and then there were the faces. I started seeing them in the patterns of the plaster, faint impressions, as if something beneath the surface was pressing outward. One had hollow eyes. Another had its mouth open in a silent scream. I told myself I was hallucinating, lack of sleep, stress. But when I touched the wall, I felt warmth pulsing beneath it, like a heartbeat. The night everything changed. It was raining, hard. I was in the living room, trying to drown out the whispers with loud music. When the power cut out, the house plunged into darkness. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. That's when I saw it. The wallpaper on the far wall was moving. Slowly, deliberately, bulging outward, then sinking back like something was shifting beneath it. I backed away, heart racing. And then from behind the wall came a single clear word. Please. I don't know why, but I felt a sudden, overwhelming urge to help. Like the wall itself was pleading. I pressed my hand against it, and it grabbed me back. Something cold and wet clamped around my wrist from inside the wall. I screamed and yanked back, stumbling into the coffee table. My phone clattered across the floor, plunging the room into darkness again. I didn't wait. I bolted upstairs, locked myself in the bedroom, and didn't move until morning. The next day, I called the landlord again. This time I demanded answers. You knew, I said. You knew something was wrong with this place. He was silent for a long time. Then he said quietly, You should leave tonight. Don't pack. Just go. I pressed him, but he hung up. That was 2 days ago. I'm still here. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too scared to leave. Maybe it's curiosity. Or maybe it's because the house won't let me. Last night, I woke up to the sound of breathing, not my own, but coming from the walls. Slow, rhythmic, as if the house itself was alive. And this morning, when I walked into the kitchen, there was a message carved into the table. You're part of it now. I've started hearing voices during the day. They're clearer now. They don't whisper anymore. They talk. They know things about me. Things I've never said aloud. They tell me not to leave. They say the house needs me. And sometimes late at night, I swear I see hands pressing out from the inside of the walls, dozens of them, clawing at the surface as if trying to break free. I don't know how much longer I can stay here. I don't know if leaving would even make a difference. I've started having dreams where the walls breathe in and out, and when I wake up, the house feels closer. Sometimes, I think I hear footsteps inside the walls. Sometimes, I think they're getting louder. And sometimes when I lie very still and listen, I hear them say my name, not like a warning this time, but like a welcome. I think Clara was right. It's not the house, it's what's inside it, and now it's inside me too. I used to think mirrors were just glass, a simple reflection, nothing more. They never bothered me. I didn't cover them at night like some people do. I didn't feel that superstitious unease when I passed one in the dark. Now, I can't look at my own reflection without wanting to smash it, because the thing staring back at me from the mirror isn't me anymore. It all started when I moved into the Oak Ridge Apartments, a small, slightly run-down building on the edge of town. It wasn't much, but it was cheap, and after getting laid off from my job and breaking up with my girlfriend in the same month, cheap was all I could afford. The place smelled faintly of dust and cigarette smoke. The walls were thin, the neighbors were noisy, but I didn't care. I just wanted somewhere to start over. Apartment 3B was small, 1 bedroom, a tiny kitchenette, and a bathroom with a cracked tile floor. The mirror in the bathroom was old and slightly warped with a thin black frame. The landlord told me it was original to the building, from the 1940s or so. I barely paid attention. I wish I had. The first time I noticed something strange. I was brushing my teeth. It was late, around midnight, and I was half asleep, staring at my reflection without really seeing it. Then I blinked, and for a split second my reflection didn't blink back. I froze, toothbrush halfway to my mouth. Maybe I was just tired. I leaned closer to the glass. My reflection stared back, expressionless. I lifted my hand, it did too. I smiled. So did it. I laughed at myself, shook my head, and went to bed. But the next night, it happened again. This time, the reflection smiled first. I told myself I was imagining it. Stress, lack of sleep, anything but what it felt like. Something watching me from the other side of the glass. A few days later, I was shaving when I noticed another detail. My reflection's mouth was slightly off. The corners of its lips curled up were just a little too much. It was subtle, so subtle I almost missed it. But once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it, and then there were the eyes. They were mine. But they weren't. There was something behind them. A glint, a focus, like whoever was behind that mirror knew more about me than I did. I stopped shaving. I stopped brushing my teeth in front of that mirror. I'd stand at the sink, looking at the wall instead. But even then I could feel its gaze. The real terror began about 2 weeks after I moved in. I woke up around 3:14 a.m. A noise had jolted me from sleep. It sounded like a tap, soft and deliberate. Tap, tap, tap. I followed it into the bathroom. The noise was coming from the mirror. I stood there in the dark, heart pounding. Tap, tap, tap. 3 precise knocks from the other side. And then, something even worse. A faint fog began to bloom across the surface of the glass, like breath, but I wasn't breathing. I stepped closer, and there, written in the condensation, were 4 words, "I can see you." I don't remember dropping my phone, but I must have. I found it cracked on the tile the next morning. I slept with the bathroom door closed after that, but the tapping didn't stop. Sometimes I'd hear it faintly from my bedroom. Sometimes I'd hear it in the middle of the day, and sometimes I'd catch my reflection moving when I wasn't. It started small, a flicker of motion in the corner of my eye, a tilt of the head I hadn't made. But one night, as I passed the bathroom door, I glanced in and froze. My reflection was standing there, perfectly still, its head slightly cocked to the side. I wasn't even facing the mirror. I was walking past it. It was watching me. I tried to convince myself I was hallucinating. I even booked a doctor's appointment. But before I could go, something happened that made denial impossible. I woke up to the sound of laughter. It was coming from the bathroom. I grabbed the nearest thing, a heavy flashlight, and crept toward the door. The light under the crack was faint and flickering like candlelight, but I hadn't left any light on. I pushed the door open. The mirror was glowing faintly, as if something on the other side was lit. And in that glow, my reflection was smiling. No, grinning. It wasn't mirroring me at all. My face was blank. Its mouth stretched into a wide, toothy grin that didn't belong on my face, and then it spoke. Almost ready. The voice didn't come from my mouth. It came from inside the mirror. I slammed the bathroom door shut and didn't open it again until morning. I bought a new mirror the next day. I threw the old one out, left it by the dumpster, and installed the cheap plastic one I bought from a hardware store. That night, I felt safe enough to sleep until I heard the tapping again. It was coming from the new mirror. I called the landlord and demanded he tell me where the original mirror came from. He hesitated at first, then admitted it had belonged to a woman named Margaret who lived in the apartment before me. She was strange, he said. Talked to the mirror a lot. Said there was a man living inside it. They found her. Well, they found her in front of it. He didn't finish the sentence, but I didn't need him to. I searched online and found an old newspaper article. Margaret had died in that apartment 15 years ago. Cause of death, self-inflicted. Found kneeling before the mirror, eyes gouged out. The article quoted a neighbor. She said the man in the mirror promised her forever. I tried everything after that. Breaking the mirror, throwing salt at it, even covering it with a sheet. But nothing worked. The tapping continued. The laughter got louder. And sometimes, even when the mirror was covered, I could see movement underneath the cloth. Then, 3 nights ago, I woke up standing in front of the bathroom mirror. I don't remember getting out of bed. I don't remember walking there. But there I was, hand pressed against the glass, and my reflection was smiling back. Almost ready, it whispered again. I'm scared I'm losing time. Hours disappear without explanation. I'll come to and find myself staring into the mirror. whispering things I don't remember saying. Once I woke up with blood on my hands and a deep cut on my arm. But the worst part? My reflection isn't just copying me anymore, it's getting ahead of me. It blinks before I do. It smiles before I smile. It leans forward before I move. And sometimes, God help me, I see it turn around. It looks at something behind it. Something I can't see, something that's getting closer. Last night, I heard the voice again, louder, clearer, like it was right next to my ear. Almost there. And when I looked into the mirror this morning, I noticed something new. There was a crack in the glass. A small one near the corner. But behind it, beneath the surface on Ryan, there was movement. Like fingers pressing outward. Like something trying to get through. I'm writing this as fast as I can because I don't know how much time I have left. My reflection is still standing there smiling that awful stretched smile, and I swear I saw its hand twitch toward the glass. Think it's going to step through, I think. That's what almost ready means. If anyone reads this sheet or if anyone ever moves into apartment 3B, don't look into the mirror. It's not a reflection, it's a door, and something on the other side wants to come in. I've lived in this house for 6 months now, and I haven't had a full night's sleep since the day I moved in. It's not because the neighborhood is noisy, or because the walls creak, or because the pipes groan at night, though they do. Sometimes, it's because something lives above me, and every night, it scratches at the attic floor, whispers my name through the ceiling, and waits for me to climb up there. When I bought the place, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. It was an old Victorian-style house just outside the city. 3 bedrooms, a big kitchen, and a yard with a dead tree that looked like it belonged in a horror movie. It was cheap. Too cheap. The real estate agent said it had been on the market for years. People couldn't see the charm, she said. I should have known that was code for run. But I was in a rush. My lease was up. My savings were dwindling. I signed the papers the same week I saw the listing. The first few weeks were uneventful. I painted the walls, replaced the carpets, unpacked boxes. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. It had that stillness old houses have where every sound echoes just a little too long. And then, about 3 weeks in, I heard it for the first time, a soft, deliberate scratch from the ceiling above my bed. At first, I thought it was an animal, a raccoon or a squirrel maybe. The house was old. Maybe something had gotten in through a loose shingle. I made a note to check the attic that weekend, but then the scratching changed. It wasn't random scurrying anymore. It was patterned, slow, rhythmic, like fingernails dragging along wood, and it always came in threes. Scratch, 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 pause, then again. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It happened every night, always between 2 and 3 a.m., and then the whispering started. The first time I heard it, I sat bolt upright in bed. It was faint, so faint I thought I was imagining it. But there it was, clear as day. Here? It stretched the word out like a hiss. I held my breath, silence. Then a few seconds later, up here. I stared at the ceiling, every muscle in my body rigid. The sound wasn't coming from the walls. It was coming from above, from the attic. The attic had one of those old pull-down ladders, the kind you have to hook with a pole and yank down. It was in the hallway outside my bedroom. I'd never been up there. I didn't need to. But the next morning, I decided to look. I waited until the sun was up, grabbed a flashlight, and tugged the ladder down. Dust showered onto the carpet. The air that drifted down was cold, colder than the rest of the house and faintly metallic like rust. The attic was empty. No animals, no nests. No signs of intrusion, but there was one thing. A faint handprint in the dust near the center of the floor. Small, human. I climbed down and slammed the hatch shut. The noises didn't stop. They got worse. The scratching turned into knocking. The whispering got louder. And one night I woke up to the sound of footsteps. Slow, deliberate steps pacing back and forth above me. I started sleeping with earplugs. Then with headphones. Nothing worked, and then, about a month ago, it called my name. It was around 2:30 a.m. I was half asleep, drifting in and out when I heard it. A breathy, distorted version of my name from somewhere above the ceiling. Liam. I sat up, heart hammering. Liam! Come up! The voice was childlike, mocking. It sounded happy. I grabbed a flashlight and stood in the hallway staring up at the attic hatch. The house was silent, completely still, and then I heard it, a soft knock. From the inside of the hatch. I didn't open it. I couldn't. I went back to bed and lay awake until dawn, every muscle in my body clenched. The next day I called pest control. They checked every inch of the attic and found nothing. No droppings, no holes, no signs of any animal. Probably just the house settling, the guy said. I knew better. I tried ignoring it, pretending it wasn't happening. But the thing in the attic didn't like being ignored. 3 nights later, I woke up to the sound of something dragging across the attic floor. Heavy, slow, deliberate. It scraped from one end of the house to the other, then stopped directly above my bed, and then the voice came again. Liam, I'm getting closer. I started staying at friends' places after that. I told them the house was too cold, too big. Anything but the truth. But the thing didn't stay behind. The 3rd night I slept at my friend Mark's apartment, I woke up to a faint scratching inside his ceiling. It had followed me. That's when I started digging. I searched property records, old news articles, anything I could find about the house. It didn't take long. In 1978, a family of 4 lived here, the Halberts. They were reported missing one winter, vanished without a trace. Police found the house empty, their belongings still inside, dinner still on the table. The only clue was a message written in dust on the attic floor. Come up and see. No one ever did. The case went cold. The house changed hands 7 times after that. No one stayed longer than a year. Most left without explanation. One owner? Well, they found him hanging from a beam in the attic. That should have been enough to make me leave. It wasn't. I don't know why. Curiosity, maybe. Or maybe because the voice kept saying things it shouldn't know. Your father is proud of you. It wasn't your fault, Liam. You're still a good person. It knew about my dad. It knew about the accident. Things I hadn't told anyone. I don't think it was mocking me. I think it was tempting me. 2 nights ago, it changed. I woke up to the usual scratching, but this time it didn't stop. It grew louder and frantic, violent, like something was clawing at the wood. The ceiling above my bed began to shake, and then, with a sharp, splintering crack, a thin line appeared in the plaster. Something was trying to break through. I stumbled into the hallway, grabbed the attic pole and yanked the hatch down. The ladder unfolded with a groan. Cold air poured down, carrying with it a smell I can only describe as rot and old blood. I pointed my flashlight up. The beam landed on something crouched in the far corner of the attic. It was small, the size of a child. But its limbs were too long, bent at wrong angles. Its skin was pale and thin, stretched tight over its bones. It had no eyes, just hollow black sockets that seemed to see me anyway. And when it smiled, its mouth stretched too wide. Finally, it whispered. I slammed the hatch shut and barricaded it with a chair. It hasn't stopped since. The scratching, the knocking, the voice. It wants out, it knows I saw it. Last night I woke up with dust on my sheets, attic dust. The hatch was still closed, but the ladder was down. And this morning I found small, child-sized footprints in the hallway. They stopped right outside my bedroom door. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's one of the Halberts. I don't even know if it was ever human. But it's been in this house for decades, maybe longer. And now that it knows I can hear it, it won't stop until I join it. I've stopped calling the attic, I call it its room now. Because that's what it is. It's not my house. It never was. I think it's waiting for me to climb those steps. I think when I finally do, I won't come back down. I can hear it moving as I write this. It's pacing again, scrape, scrape, scrape. Sometimes it laughs, a soft, gurgling giggle that makes my blood run cold, and sometimes, when the night is quiet and the house is still, I swear I hear it whispering right into my ear. Even though the ceiling is intact and the attic door is closed. Come up, Liam. Come see what's waiting for you. I think it's getting closer. I think one of these nights it won't wait for me to come up. I think it's going to come down.